Sadhguru Nath Maharaj Ki Jai, and welcome to Jagadambe Reads the Holy Books of India, Bhaktavijaya151. As you may remember, Raka, Banka, and their daughter went to live in the forest. Continually in their love, they remembered Pandurang in their hearts. They collected the rags from off the roads and wound these around their bodies. If anyone gave them any other clothing, they would not even look at it. While he was gathering rags one day in front of the tailor's house, the tailor said to him, "What has brought about such indifference to worldly things? We want these rags for the purpose of making wicks." So said that miser in his ignorance. Raka said to his wife, "Pick up a rag which is uselessly lying upon the ground and use it for covering your body." After the Brahmins had eaten, they threw outside the plates of leaves on which they had eaten. These Raka and Banka fastened around their hips. There are very many viragis, but none has lived as these two did. Poets, in trying to find illustrations, find themselves unable to do so. Just as there is no balance great enough to weigh the earth, so in singing the praise of God's bhaktas, the mind becomes crazy. One may be able to hold the sun in his fist or the wind in a cage, but the extraordinary condition of God's bhaktas is such that speech cannot describe it. Who has given up his worldly life in order to save the life of others? Some pray to the inferior deity for a son and for wealth. "I will distribute at least a quarter of a seer of sweetmeats, O Bhavani, if you give me so much wealth as would enable me to maintain elephants." Another vows to give the Brahmins sweet carrots equal to his own weight. And at the end of his life, he wishes to be sitting in a chariot of light. Raka was not thus worldly minded. He made a seemingly impossible vow which perplexed the Lord of Vaikuntha. Yet he came to the help of his bhakta. Their repentance was very strong, the equal of which no one had ever seen. In the meantime, their beautiful daughter, Vanka, went to bathe. Daughters of Raka and Namdev quarrel. Just at that moment, the daughter of Nama was washing clothes on the banks of the Bhima. She was beating the clothes upon a stone slab, and the sprays flew about. Vanka said to her, "Beat the clothes gently on the slab, O friend. I have just bathed and have seated myself for mental worship, Manasa Puja." The latter replied, "You are of the potter class, and yet you seem very particular. You have all abandoned the happy domestic life, and now you're wandering from house to house begging. Your father is a bhakta because of some desire in his heart. He made a vow to the Lord of Pandari. He has placed the husband of Rukmini in a difficult position in becoming disentangled from his domestic life." Vanka said to her, "The sobbing Nama is well known. Although the holder of the disc, Krishna, is in the form of Buddha, mute, he forced him to speak by breaking his own head." Thus, talking to one another, they returned to their homes. Meanwhile, Nama returned home after pleasing the husband of Rukmini by his service of song. The quarrel that had taken place on the bank of the Bhima, his daughter reported to Nama, saying that Vanka had blamed him. She said, "Though in the Kali Yuga God has assumed the avatar of Buddha, mute, yet Nama the Bhakta went to the temple, and by breaking his head he forced the husband of Rukmini to speak. But my father, Raka, is one who truly has no desires in what he does. He gathers a load of dry wood, and by selling them in the bazaar, he earns a living." Sadhguru Nath Maharaj Ki Jai. Thank you for coming. I hope you come again.